Hello friends, welcome to the SS tutorial. Let's start with the third chapter, that is the Harappan civilization. Geographical extent. The Indus or the Harappan culture is older than the Chalcolithic cultures. It is far more developed than this culture. It arose in the northwestern part of the India, and these sites are called Harappan because these sites was discovered at the modern site of Harappa situated in the province of West Punjab in Pakistan. The Harappan sites was discovered in 1921 by Dayaram Sahni, whereas Mohenjo-daro was discovered by R.T. Banerjee in 1922. The Harappan cultures covered the parts of Punjab, Sindh, Balochistan, Gujarat, Rajasthan and the regions of western Uttar Pradesh. It extended from Jammu in north to the Narmada in the south and the Makran coast of Balochistan in the west to Meerut in the northeast. This area formed a triangle and accounted about 1,299,600 square kilometer, which is larger than the Pakistan and certainly bigger than the ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. Some important sites are Harappa in Punjab, Mohenjo-daro in Sindh, Channo-daro in Sindh, Lothal in Gujarat, Kalibangan in northern Rajasthan and Banwali in Hisar in Haryana. There are over 250 Harappan sites are known, but only 6 can be regarded as cities. To the Harappan period belong the remains of mud brick platforms and the street and the drains. The Harappan culture is noticeable in its mature and flourishing stage at all these 6 places. It is also found its mature phase in the coastal cities of Surkotada and Suktagendur, which is marked by a citadel. The latter Harappan phase is found in Rangpur and Rojdi in the Kathiawar Peninsula in Gujarat. Here are the sites. Town planning and structures. The Harappan culture was distinguished by its system of town planning. Harappa and Mohenjo-daro had its own citadel and which was possibly occupied by the ruling member. Below the citadel, in each city lay a lower town containing brick houses, which were inhabited by the common people. The remarkable thing about the arrangement of the houses in the cities are they followed the grid system. Roads cut across one another almost at same angles, and the city was divided into so many blocks. This is the image of the town planning or the house planning in the civilization or the Harappan civilization. After that, the most important public place of Mohenjo-daro seems to be the Great Bath, comprising the tank which is situated in the citadel mound. It measures 11.88 into 7.01 meters and 2.43 meters deep, and there are side rooms for changing. Here are the side rooms for changing, and here is the tank. Here people take bath. The floor of the bath was made of bronze bricks. Water was drawn from a large well in an adjacent room, and an outlet from one corner of the bath led to a drain. It is suggested that the Great Bath served ritual bathing, which was so vital to any religious ceremony in India. After that, the important place is the granary. In Mohenjo-daro, a largest building, which is called granary, is 45.7 meters long and 15.23 meters wide. But in Harappa, we find 6 granaries in 2 rows. Each granary measured 15.23 meters into 6.09 meters and lay within a few meters of the river bank. The 12 units would be about 838.1025 square meters, which is equal to Mohenjo-daro's large granary. To the south of the granaries at Harappa lay working floors consisting circular brick platforms for threshing grain like wheat and barley, because wheat and barley were found from this place. At Kaliabangan also we notice in the southern part brick platforms which may have been used for granaries. We found the use of the baked bricks in contemporary Mesopotamia, but they are used to much larger extent in the Harappan sites. The drainage system of Mohenjo-daro was very impressive. It almost all cities, every big or small houses had its own courtyard and bathrooms. In Kaliabangan, many houses had their wells. Water flowed from the house to the streets, which are drains. Sometimes these drains were covered with bricks and sometimes with stone slabs. The street drains were equipped with manholes. Agriculture. Comparatively rainless, the Indus region is not so fertile these days. At present, it has only a rainfall about 15 centimeters. But in the 4th century BC, one of the historians of Alexander informs us that Sindh was a fertile part in our country. In earlier times, the Indus possessed more natural vegetation which attracted more rainfall. It supplied timber for breaking bricks on a large scale and also for construction. Natural vegetation was destroyed by the extension of agriculture, large-scale grazing, and supply of fuel. Walls made of burnt bricks raised for protection so that floods took place annually. The Indus carried far more alluvial soil than the Nile in the Egypt and deposited on the floodplains. Just as Nile created Egypt and fed its people, Indus created Sindh and fed its people. The Indus people sowed seeds in the floodplains in November when the flood water receded and reaped their harvest of wheat and barley in April before the advent of the next flood. The pre-Harappan phase at Kalibangan show that the fields were ploughed in Rajasthan in the Harappan period. The Harappan probably used the wooden ploughshare. We don't know whether the plough was drawn by men or oxen. Stone sickles may have been used for harvesting the crops, and gabarbans or nalas enclosed by dams for strong water were a feature in parts of Balochistan and Afghanistan, but the channel or the canal is absent. The Indus people produced two types of wheat, barley and peas, etc., and a good quantity of barley has been discovered at Banwali in Hisar. In addition to this, they produces sesame and mustard. It seems that as early as 1800 BC, the people of Lothal used rice, whose remains have been found. Food grains were stored in huge granaries in both Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. The Indus people were the earliest people to produce cotton because cotton was first produced in this area, and the Greeks called it Sindon, which is derived from Sindh. Domestication of animals. Harappan kept a large scale of oxen, buffaloes, goats, sheep, and pigs as domesticated animals. The horned bulls were favored by the Harappans, and from the very beginning, dogs and cats are also domesticated. They also kept asses and camels used as beasts of burden. Remains of horse have been reported from Surkotada, situated on the west Gujarat, and they find a doubtful terracotta figurine of horse from Lothal. Elephants were well known to the Harappans, who were also acquainted with the rhinoceros. The Harappan people in Gujarat produced rice and domesticated elephants, which was not the case with the people of Mesopotamia's sites. Technology and crafts. The Harappan culture belonged to the Bronze Age and they used many tools and implements of stone. Bronze was made by mixing tin with copper and the tools were not prolific in Harappa. The impurities of the ore show that the copper was obtained from the Khetri copper mines of Rajasthan, although it could also be brought from Baluchistan. Because none of the two metals was easily available to the Harappans. Like that, tin was possibly brought from Afghanistan with difficulty, although its old workings was found from Hazaribagh from Bihar. A kit of bronze goods left by the Harappans is considerable. We suggest that the bronzesmith constructed an important group of artisans in the Harappan society. They produced not only images and utensils but also various tools and weapons such as axes, swords, knives, and spears. A piece of woven cotton has been recovered from Mohenjo-daro and the spindle holes were used for spinning. Weavers wove clothes of wool and cotton. Huge brick structures suggest that bricklaying was an important craft. The Harappans also practiced boat making, as will be shown later. Seal making and terracotta manufacture were also important crafts. The goldsmiths made jewelry of silver, gold, and precious stones. Gold and silver were obtained from Afghanistan, where the precious stones are obtained from South India. The Harappans were experts in bead making. Bead making means beads can be woven together with specialized threads and strung onto thread or soft flexible wire. The potter's wheel was full in use and they produced their own designed pottery at the time of Harappan times. This is the end of the part 1 of the Harappan civilization and the part 2 coming soon.